Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we really try to cut through the noise and get you the critical intelligence you need. For years, we've talked about things like phishing, right? Malware. But today, we are discussing a genuine evolution in financial crime, where the threat isn't just a compromised system, it's a compromised sense of reality. We're diving into the AI heist.
And our deep dive today is focused on the hard data, security reports, the actual mechanics of this criminal AI, and, the case studies that are, frankly, grim warnings. Our mission is to break down the defenses you need, both on the management side and the tech side. And just to be clear for you, when we say deepfake, we mean AI-generated manipulations, video, audio, you name it, that are designed to be hyper-realistic.
The broader category being synthetic media.
Exactly.
And we have to start with the case that really shook everyone, the one that proved this isn't theoretical anymore. We're talking about the AirUp incident. This was early 2024 in Hong Kong. A finance professional gets an email, is suspicious, which is great. That's the first line of defense working. But then he's told to join a video call.
And that video call was the whole game. It's so crucial to understand this. He didn't just see one fake person. He saw and heard his chief financial officer and multiple other colleagues on the same call.
Multiple calls.
All of them were AI-generated deepfakes, almost certainly created from publicly available videos and audio.
So they didn't just fake the boss. They faked the entire boardroom environment. And because he saw and heard his senior leaders, he was convinced. He transferred 200 million Hong Kong dollars. That's about what, 26 million US dollars?
Over 15 transactions.
It's a staggering number. But let's pause on the psychology of that for a second. What was it about seeing multiple people that just completely overrode his initial, very rational suspicion?
That is the core of it. The attack was a hack on human psychology, not on a server.
A hack on psychology. I like that.
Exactly. He had a security process, right? He was suspicious of the email.
The system worked at first?
It did. But when the attack switched to a high-fidelity live medium, this video call it, exploited all these trust signals that are baked into how we work. You're just conditioned to believe what you see and hear, especially when a whole group of senior people are confirming your request.
And once that trust is established, you just want to be efficient, you want to comply.
You do. And once that money moves internationally, well, recovery is basically impossible.
Okay, so that speed and that precision.
Yeah.
It means we have to talk about how the tech got so good, so fast. It used to be really hard to make a convincing deepfake.
Yeah.
Where are we now?
We've hit a tipping point, and it's all about accessibility. The barrier to entry is just gone. For audio specifically, these AI models can clone a voice with a frighteningly small amount of data.
How small?
You only need about 30 seconds, maybe up to 5 minutes of audio from, say, a conference recording or even a podcast. And you can create a synthetic voice that is indistinguishable from the real thing.
And this. Democratization of the tool is where it gets really dangerous. Our sources are pointing to a total collapse in the cost. You can go on the dark web and find deepfakes as a service. You can get a manipulated video for as little as $50 or a voice message for maybe $30.
And that cost reduction is everything. We are talking about something that is potentially 400 times cheaper than it was just last year.
400 times.
So when the cost to launch a highly persuasive targeted attack is less than dinner out, any criminal group can get their hands on what used to be nation-state level tools.
And that affordability. It's led to this massive spike in activity. The numbers are just wild. Deepfake phishing and fraud incidents have skyrocketed by 3,000% since 2022.
3,000, it's not a typo.
It's not theoretical. We are now seeing a deepfake attempt on average every 5 minutes in 2024.
And the impact is huge. The AirUp case gets the headlines, of course, but the average incident we see is usually between $150,000 and $500,000. We saw this trend starting earlier, with lower tech stuff like the German CEO voice clone back in 2019, which sold about $250,000.
But now it's multimedia, it's video, it's audio all at once.
Exactly. And the attempted corporate whaling attacks, where they use this to trick an executive into signing off on a huge deal, have targeted sums as high as $35 million.
And it's not just the clone media itself. These generative AI platforms, things like Worm GPT or even misused models, they're being used to build the entire story.
It's an entire ecosystem. AI creates the lie, and then AI helps sell the lie.
So to pull off a fraud like this, attackers need raw material. You're saying they find this using OST, open source intelligence.
That's it. They don't need to hack you. They just need to watch and listen to what's already public.
So if I'm an executive, where are they grabbing the data to train these models on me?
Literally everywhere you communicate in public. Every time a CEO gives a speech at a conference or an exec is on an earnings call.
A video on LinkedIn.
A video on LinkedIn, exactly.
Yeah.
That is high-quality, raw training data. They harvest all of it. And not just to clone your face and voice, they're learning your company's structure, your cadence, the jargon you use internally.
So the goal isn't just a fake face. It's a fake interaction that feels completely real inside the corporate culture. Which brings up the big question for anyone listening. Who is actually the most vulnerable in the company?
It's those roles that combine two things: the authority to move money or data, and the pressure to act fast. So our sources point to a few key targets: finance teams, obviously,
For wire transfers.
HR departments for payroll data, employee info, and then, crucially, executive assistants.
Because they're the gatekeepers, and they're valued for being responsive, for cutting through red tape.
Precisely. They are trained to make things happen quickly for their boss.
I think that psychological leverage is the real key. The attacker creates this perfect storm. It's urgent, it's the boss, it's high stakes, and pausing to double check feels like you're not a team player or you don't trust your leadership.
That's the trap. In that split second, in that high-pressure environment, efficiency wins out over security. Every time.
And while we're focused on financial theft, you've stressed that the threat is actually much bigger. It's about market integrity.
Exactly. The market disinformation angle is huge and often overlooked. Think about it. The ability to create a fake announcement about, say, terrible quarterly earnings or a merger falling through.
Or a scandal.
Or a scandal, and that can spread like wildfire online. A fake video of a CEO saying something unethical could tank investor confidence in minutes.
Which leads to massive stock price volatility.
Yeah.
Panic selling. It even lets bad actors exploit the chaos, right? They could short the stock.
Absolutely. The reputational damage can be instant and devastating. Even if the video is proven to be a fake a few hours later, the damage is already done.
So, given that our own eyes and ears are now unreliable, what's the defense philosophy? We can't just do the same old security training.
You can't. Relying on your own perception is a losing strategy, plain and simple. The defense has to be a fundamental shift, moving away from this idea that seeing or hearing someone is proof of identity.
Okay, so let's get practical for the listener. The foundational concept here is something called out-of-band verification.
This needs to be gospel. It's the core rule. You must verify any high-stakes request through a completely separate channel.
So if the request comes in on a video call,
you verify it with a text to a known number,
Yeah.
or an email you initiate, or a call to their desk phone that you look up in the company directory, a channel the attacker can't possibly control.
Let's talk about the specific emergency steps. What should an employee do, step by step, and how do low-tech things like code words fit in?
Okay, you need a rehearsed sequence. First, just pause, do not do what they asked. Second, end the communication professionally. Say you'll call them right back, you just need to check a number. Don't tip them off. Third, verify, using that separate channel we just talked about. Use a number you trust, not one they gave you.
And this is where the simple code word system becomes kind of strategically brilliant.
It is brilliant. It sounds simple, but a pre-established secure code word exploits the AI's biggest weakness: real-time, unexpected interaction. An AI is great at reading a script. It's terrible at coming up with a secret code word it was never trained on instantly. If a senior exec calls for a big wire transfer, they have to give the code word. It's a human check.
So human process is the first line, but tech has to back it up. We need more than just standard two-factor authentication.
Absolutely. We need to look at stronger things like blockchain-based authentication for certain communications.
And what about AI fighting AI? You mentioned detection tools like FakeBuster. How do they actually spot a deepfake that looks perfect to us?
Right. So these tools aren't looking for the things we look for, like a weird blur. They use things like 3D convolutional neural networks to analyze digital artifacts. They're looking at things like how light reflects off the geometry of a face, or even subtle changes in blood flow under the skin that would be present in a real video but are missing or inconsistent in a generated one.
Wow. Okay. And on the system side, let's say deepfake gets past all that. How do we stop it from moving through the whole company?
That's where you need a new security posture. You need strong single sign-on, rigorous role-based access control, or RBAC.
Limiting what any one person can actually access.
Exactly. And most importantly, you need to adopt a zero-trust security model.
So why is Zero Trust so good at stopping this kind of attack?
Because zero trust gets rid of the whole idea of a trusted user inside the network. It continuously verifies identity and intent for every single request. So a deepfake might spoof a CEO's login to get into one system, but the moment it tries to access the finance portal, it has to prove itself all over again. A deepfake can fake a face, but it can't fake that kind of continuous system-level legitimacy.
Okay, finally, training. Generic security lectures just aren't going to cut it.
Useless. Training has to be scenario-based. You need realistic simulations. Use voice-cloned calls, use pre-made deepfake videos, and tailor them to the employee's actual job. The goal is to build a culture of healthy skepticism, to make everyone understand that seeing isn't believing anymore, not online.
So this deep dive really shows that the AI heist is a tech-enabled crime, but it exploits something very old: human trust.
And the defense has to be integrated. Tech solutions like AI detection and zero trust are critical, but they have to be linked to human processes, like that multi-channel verification and constant training. You can't secure the system without securing the people.
The Arab case proved that the cost of failure is just enormous. So we'll leave you with this final thought. Given the speed and realism of these threats, is the traditional corporate concept of proof by sight and sound just permanently obsolete? And if it is, how fast can organizations really pivot their entire culture to prioritize system-level checks over basic human perception in every single important interaction?
Something to think about the next time you get an urgent request from your boss.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.